Evet, herkese merhabalar. Sherlock Holmes'e kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son uzaklardan İlham Perisi vakasında kalmıştık. Ve John bu kadını resmetmişti. Hamile kadını. Şimdi onu soruşturacağız etrafa. O yüzden ben halktan biriymiş gibi giyindim. Bakalım işe yarayacak mı? Aha, vallahi anlatıyor lan. Tek attık ha. Kızın yüzündeki yaralar Eve Nick kabilesindekilere benziyor. Cordono'da Eve halkının bulunabileceği tek yer Scadio ile Silverton arasındaki Victoria Köprüsü'nün altındaki mülteci kampı. Buraya gideceğiz. Şunu bir kaldır. Bir saniye. Cordono'da Eve halkının bulunabileceği tek yer Scadio ile Silverton arasındaki Victoria Köprüsü. Malta Köprüsü, Eskişehir Köprüsü. Scadio ile Silverton arasındaki. Bor Köprüsü. Kozlar Bahçesi. Ne köprüsüydü lan? Bunu keşfetmedik mi biz? Heh, burasıymış, yanlış yere bakıyormuşuz, tamam. O zaman bir hemen hızlı seyahat atacağız. Buraya bir hızlı seyahat atalım. Umarım sesim kötü gelmiyordur. Gene mikrofon ayarlarını değiştirdim de. Şimdi bunu bir kere değiştir. En kötü bir daha giyeriz. Gerçi mülteci kampına da böyle giremeyiz herhalde ama. Köprünün altındaki mülteci kampı demişti. İçen Hollandalı. Tamam. Bunu bir kaldır. Altında mı diyor? Dur bakayım. Köprüsünün altındaki. Ha, şurası herhalde.
Beasts! May I ask for your assistance? I'm so sorry. I can't help you, sir.
Allah. Heh. Pneumatik giriyormuş dedim, ne oluyor? Ne oluyor burada ya?
Murderers! They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Are you able to help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Sen kimsin? Dedektif misin?
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the
Keşke belediyeden giriyorum deseydim.
City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade.
Lan ne diyorsun, terbiyesiz. Gözlemleyelim seni. Daha yaşlı görünmeye çalışıyor. Abartı giymiş, otoriter görünmeye çalışıyor. Ulan bir alt değilsin işte. Stresli beyefendi. Temiz ayakkabılar. Dolgun gözaltı torbaları var. Yorgun katip diyelim ya.
The people in the crowd are shouting about a murder in the camp. Are you trying to hide it?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
Kesin.
If it was under control, if there was no dead body, you wouldn't be as nervous as you are. you would be sitting in your cozy dark corner of the City Hall room doing nothing as usual. Yet, you're here, trying to deal with a series of problems you never asked for.
These insults are inappropriate. You don't know what I'm doing for this camp. Even though the rest of City Hall doesn't give a bloody squat about the refugees. Maybe I didn't want to be assigned to this camp. But I'm trying to do my best for these people. If not for my work, they might not have any shelter or food even.
I apologize, Mr. Harlow. Perhaps I was prejudiced towards you, but in any case, I'm sure that you would still want this to be over as quickly as possible. The current reality is that neither you nor the police are managing things well here. You are unable to calm the crowd. You have simply never handled a situation like this before.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
Sana yardım edebilirim. Tanığımı bulmalıyım.
I'm looking for a young refugee woman. She must be inside the camp. She's with child or was with child recently. Help me find her, and I'll help you deduce what really happened here.
You may indeed be quite a perceptive fellow, but I still don't
Bir
see
izin
how
ver
you
de
can help
gösterelim.
me.
Just tell the police I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest. Trust me. But first, you'll find my witness.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come
Yola
inside.
gel, yola.
Just tell me when
Aferin.
you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up?
Oh,
I've been away for some time.
yes. This whole story has been in the papers for
Ha,
almost a
ışık
year
kapandı bir
now.
anda. Ne oluyor
I
lan?
was smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers
Onu
managed
biz
to
de
sneak
sormak
into
istiyoruz
shore
aslında ama
and
neyse
hide
hadi.
them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even we have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a...
Kamptaki işin ne?
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do?
What I do and what I... On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision.
Hı
What
hı.
I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let them... Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
Hadi gidelim.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find... Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall.
I'll find my way with work.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Şu adam galiba.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall.
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the
Sherlock
damage
konuşmayı biliyor ya.
inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mole. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home.
Could you first tell me...
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a massive...
Lan bizim aradığımız
refugees
kadın mı
attacking a
acaba?
man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector.
Başka kurban var mı?
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen.
Mutfaklarının orada, evet, tamam.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet, since that's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fish. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Tamam, teşekkürler kral.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Tamam. Bir inceleyelim bakalım. Burada ne var? Kömür tozu
Coal
varmış.
dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
Neymiş? Bıçak. Oyunun bugün bir garip ses değişti gene.
Steel dirk.
Ama yemiş bak. Müzik artıp duruyor.
Among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
Ömes de var. Sese ne oluyor oyunda anlamadım ben bugün. Başka ne var lan bakmadığımız?
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man
Aha, topallayan adam.
a violent death. This man, limping.
Aynen, galerideki adam olabilir bu.
Onto something here, John.
Ha, bir ipucu daha. Haydut Vogel'un galerisine de gitti. Aynen öyle. Şimdi bu var.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Can I ask you a question?
Nothing I can
Bunu eriştirelim.
but others might know more.
This isn't working.
Are you able to
Might
help me?
need a different
A
tack.
solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Bundan bir şey öğrenemiyoruz. Burada ne varmış? Sigara var.
Malpal, soaked with
Kesin bu
salt.
adam ya. Aradığımız adam.
£1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath.
O kamanın kılıfı bence.
Help me, please.
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Tamam, bundan da bir şey çıkmadı. Başka inceleyecek bir şey var mı? Sen ne
Our
diyorsun?
dead fella truly has had a day of misfortune.
Burada bir şeyler var. Polis botlarıymış.
Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
Çıplak ayak izi
A
var
man's
burada.
footprint.
Dört numara hasarlı taban.
A heavy boot with a worn out sole.
Burada ne var?
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
Maşallah, amma çok incelenecek şey var ya.
Clearly a left handprint here.
Burada da izler var.
A furrow
Burada
in the
küçük
ground.
hendek. Hafif kanama.
A blood trail leading to or from the canal.
Bu tarafta da bir şeyler var. Kolye mi lan bu?
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional
Ha,
African
Afrika
ornament.
süsüymüş.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon.
Ses garipleşmese. Gene ayak izleri.
Someone was dragged against their will.
Ha, burada bu ne lan? Bu adam birine benzettim ama.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Hani çağırsana da
Sherry,
doktor falan.
no first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like
Lan nereden bileyim ben
to understand.
mülteciyi ya.
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? May I ask for your assistance?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Tam nasıl yardım edeceğiz adama?
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Ha, bu ne?
That will kill, not save him.
Evet, tamam, böyle bulacağız.
It won't do any good.
Adama yardım ediyoruz şu an. Etmeye çalışıyoruz daha doğrusu.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
Aldık. Nasıl şey yapacağız?
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you,
Ha,
sir,
yanlış yer.
but
Tamam,
others
tamam.
might know more.
Sus. Bir şeyle mi kombinleyeceğiz? Ne yapacağız? Ha. Benim su temiz. Güzel.
I'll use it to create a solution.
Bakalım şimdi oluyor mu? Yok. Lan John bir git. Oğlum ben sana daha ne yapayım? Ne bu? Aha. Kral üstünden geçtik ama kusura bakma.
I'm afraid these leaves can only be added to tea.
Ya anasını satayım. Şu. Aloe vera bak, olur bence
I
bu.
can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
Aldık.
I've collected all the ingredients now to prepare the first aid solution.
Burada da bir şey çıktı sanki demin.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go.
Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
Ne bileyim ben.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to hell.
Dur bakalım. Geçitinin varlık sebebini öğren. Kraldan çok kralcı at. Düşük maaş at. Kamp karantinada bu olabilir. İhtiyar hafiye ne demek bilmiyorum. İsteri olmaz. Aa vallahi ilk denemede oldu bu sefer. Polis memurları ceset yüzünden kampın tam tecrit altına alınacağından ve kurdukları tertip sayesinde sağlıkları para akışını kaybedeceklerinden korkuyorlar. Oha.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
Valla ben öğrendim kral.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Dur ararız, bekle. Tamam, kampı terk etmeden önce yapacağız. İlk önce şu adamı kurtaralım bir. Solüsyon kimyasal analiz. Bunu hızlı geçeceğim tahmin ediyorsunuz.
Thank you. This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Bir adamı kurtardık. Şimdi bunu bir iliştir bakalım. Buna konuşsak olmayacak herhalde. Polise bunu soramayız.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Ama nasıl öğreneceğiz? En kötü iddiayı kaybederiz. Bunları sorsak olmaz. Burada araştırılacak bir şey yok. Bunu sorsak mı acaba ya?
You still here?
Kanıt koy. Bunu
The
seç.
guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady... I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberhead.
Is this familiar to you?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Visit the crime scene these days?
Nasıl
I
sorayım?
hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Hamal pal.
A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Buraya göre yapsak. Buradan başladı. Kaç? 9 4 2 1 1 2 var. Böyle olsa. Burada başka ne var? Hepsini açayım bakayım. Buradan biri sürüklenmiş işte. Böyle değil. Şunu deneyelim. Bu bunu koruyordu. Ne yapıyordu ya? Başka yapılmayan ne var? Ha, şu var.
You're not even trying, Sherry.
Dur bir dakika.
Concentrate.
Şimdi. Bir saniye. Bunları bir açalım. kadını kaçırmaya çalışıyorsa burada çok kaçırmıyor gibi. Burada kaçırıyor gibi daha çok. Burada arkasına sığmış gibi olmaz.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Şimdi bu. Ama bu bence bu kadın düşüyor burada. Bunu değiştir. Burada düştüğünü, burada kaçıyor, burada düştü desek. Yok, bu değil, bu değil. Gitmemiş de düştü desek.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by
Süper
force.
oldu.
One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had
Polis de işin içinde galiba. Mı acaba?
By the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Tamam, şimdi ne çıktı? Başarısız kaçma. Tamam, incitmemiş, kaçırmaya çalışmış sadece. Hırsız değil, bir yardakçı. Sıradan bir hırsız değil, ayrıca insan da kaçıyor. Çeşitli iş yapabilen bir yardakçı. Haydi.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the camp.
Aynen böyle kal.
How did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into
Var galiba da biz bulamadık.
police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference?
Bunu bulamadık hala. Ama bunu arayacağız da.
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble. Do you know anything about this?
They often take us from the camp to work. Most don't mind though. It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
Mültecilere göre bazı şaibeli tipler sürekli kampı ziyaret ediyor ve mülteciye çeşitli işler için yanlarına alıyorlarmış. Bu işler genelde zor olurmuş ama mülteciye para ve yemek verirlermiş.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came
Tamam, bunlar artık herhalde tamamlanmış oluyor.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Neyleymiş adı?
She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Tamam kral, sakin ol ya.
Hello, Nayla?
Neyla?
My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel.
Yok be. Boş yaptık biraz.
A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man.
Allah Allah, niye ırkçılık yapıyorsun şimdi? Kaç takıyormuş?
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But
ya şu bir gitsin. Saldırgan yüksek rütbeli bir yetkili mi? Aha.
he helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Kim ya bu?
You still here?
Not koy.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named
Bay
Mr.
Nicola
Bernadotti.
Bernadotti.
You say?
A respectable businessman.
Olduğu da saygın bir iş adamı.
His company imports goods and wines and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo. Just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be imprisoned now.
Çok emin olamadım.
Or hanged, right? You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
Evet, bu hem tacizciyi hem de dövmeyi falan bulmak için polis merkezine bir geleyim dedim. Kayıtlara bakacağız. Arşiv neredeydi lan? Yine ters geldik. Bir dakika. Şu dövmeyi iliştir. Bunların suçu kaçakçılıktı. İşaretledik. Özne, tanık, kurban, memur, şüpheli mi? Yok, bu değil ya. Kanıt. Doküman değil. Dövme, el konulanlar hiç değil. Davranış. Nerede olmuştu bu? Burası mı acaba? Tamam. Nicola Bernadotti 1834 doğumlu, Kordon'da tanınmış bir iş adamı ve patron. 1873 yılında kurulmuş olan Bernadotti LTD şirketin kurucusu ve sahibi. Ana ofis Güneydoğu Skaladyo'da, Pazar Caddesi'nde, Romalı Cadde kesişimi yakın. Tamam, buraya gideceğiz. Sonuç, Bay Bernadotti'yi bu vakaya bağlamak imkansız demiş müfettiş Herbert Ryder.
An impressive slice of life. The police had a lot on him and at the same time nothing at all. Amateurs.
Yanlış geldik mi? Burası hiç değil. Şimdi bunu bulduk. Bunu sanki başka bir arşiv nerede vardı ya? Belediyede mi? Ama belediye neredeydi? Heh. Şöyle bir git bakayım. Belediyenin girişi buradan öğrenmiştik şeyler. Bu ne yapıyor? Konuşabiliyor mu da yok. Dönem, kayıt, mahalle, bölüm, meslekte, dönem Britanya desek, mahalle. Bunu bak biraz kopya aldım. Thomas Norton'muş. 1840 yılında Londra'da doğmuş. 64 yılında Oxford Üniversitesi'nden mezun. 69 yılında sekreter olarak İçişleri Bakanlığı çalışmaya başlamış falan. 1 Mart 1878 tarihinde belediyedeki kendi kabinesi tarafından Kordon'un Britanya delegesi ilan edilmiş. Ama bunun profilini de bulduk. Şimdi bu nerede diyordu? Güneydoğu Skala diyor. Pazar Caddesi, Romalı Caddesi kesişimi yanı. Caddesi burası. Romalı Caddesi de burası. Kesişiminde yakında bir yerde, tamam. Çıkabiliriz buradan. Buranın kapısı neredeydi ha? Bunu da bu arada iliştirelim. Ana ofise gidelim bakalım. Ha, gelmemişiz.
All fresh issues are sold out.
Burası mı? Bunu bir kaldır. Şurada bir yerde. Burada.
It seems they're not expecting
Ha,
guests.
burasıymış.
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
Ne yapacağız? Polis kıyafeti mi? Böyle deneyelim.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm sorry, officer, but I can't help you.
Girmenin başka yolunu bulacağız artık. Buraya mı ait acaba? Ama John burada.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
Neye benziyor? Mülteci kampından.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Buradan mı?
Hey yo, this is private property.
Ha bak bunda da dövme var ama.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotti. I tried the front door, but
Mr. Bernadotti isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away
Bak
or
bak bir
you'll
de tehdit
never walk
ediyor.
again. Capito?
it's in Mr. Bernadotti's best interest to...
One.
Vur bir tane ya.
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
İnşallah başımıza iş açmayız. Ha girdik mi? Vurmasa mıydım acaba? Ha hayır Allah. Şimdi ağzını dağıtayım ben.
No more crime for you until next month.
Gel bakayım buraya gel.
Too simple.
I'm coming.
Kim kamyonun lan Allah.
I couldn't miss
Ha
the
ha ha.
party.
Aynen partiyi kaçırma kral.
Take a rest, my friend.
Give them the pepper snuff.
Bas. Hop. Küt.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Allah ne fırlattın lan sen bana?
Time to knock this guy out.
Bıçak fırlatıp durma. Allah ne hızlı lan bu. Vallahi öldürürüm seni ha.
No, you killed him.
Artık öldü, yapacak bir şey yok.
Can overcome the brute now.
Lan sıkmayın.
I couldn't miss the party.
Don't bother moving. You've...
The snuff's ready.
Ah be. Allah. Gene mi işe yaramadı? O.
Eat lead.
Lan bir koşma.
I'm coming for you.
Don't
Dur ben de sana valla öldürürüm seni ha.
Won't work
Sus lan.
this way.
I couldn't miss the party.
Al sana bıçak atma millete.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
The snuff's ready.
Ne oldu? Tematik mi? Ha. Sokak süpürgesi başarımını kazandım. Nereden girdin?
Sherry, look. This seems
Aha.
familiar.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
Yok sana zarar vermeyeceğim.
I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here?
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
Bunlar neymiş?
A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least.
100 yıllık uçuş.
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa.
Başka ne var gözden kaçırdığım?
VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of
Böyle kaçakçılık yapıyorlar demek. Ne çıktı? Ha, şu meşhur. Ha, evet evet o. Aç bakayım o.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
Allah.
Closer. One step and I'll stretch you to pieces.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Right so. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir.
Oğlum hem tırsıyorum hem de artistik yapıyorum.
It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Bu neymiş? Ordunun günleri manşet Zeppelin'le ilgili. Buna bir şey yapabiliyor muyuz? Yok. Buraya giriş var. Buraya yok. Buraya da yok. Bir mi zorluyorsun lan sen orada?
The Bernadotte Company Limited Trade Network reaches the most distant colonies of the Great Empire.
It must be very convenient for a man like Bernadotte.
Bu neymiş?
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor.
1875.
1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
Lan vurmayacağız. Pek çok belge var. İshaliye yasal. Pahalı belge, belediye amblemi, balo davetiyesi.
Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. And come here, and we shall talk.
Başka bir şey var mı?
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Gözlemleyelim seni. Diğerlerinden farklı rütbe herhalde bu. Pek işten kaçmıyor belli. Pellegrin neydi ya? Soğukkanlı. Evli. İhtiyatlı suç deyası. Soğukkanlı, diğerlerinden farklı, evli, pelebek almış. İhtiyatlı mı acaba? Akıllı bir iş adamı da olduğun için ihtiyatlı diyorum. Bence. Mali malde var ya işte.
The name is Sherlock Holmes and I'm afraid I bring bad tidings.
Is that so?
The man you sent to the refugee camp failed in his task. He impaled himself on his own blade. Clumsy and chaotic end.
For a man who just broke onto my property, you are more businessman than brute. You have my attention, Mr. Holmes. Do not waste it.
Mr. Bernadotte, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke in. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal. As I said, your man, he was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
Bir soygunu
I was
soruşturuyorum.
hired privately to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization and, thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action.
Ne oldu lan bir
When you barged
anda?
into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're
Aha,
here,
ama
Mr.
bak tipe bak.
Holmes. You have the photograph.
It
Aynen.
is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I'm rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Kıza neden ihtiyacım
Why
vardı
did you
kral?
send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us.
I could not help but appreciate the
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not
Nasıl
all
değildir
murder
ya?
is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore,
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in fact. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable. And trust me.
I saw refugees from the camp.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the...
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem...
Tamam hadi sırada gelelim.
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes
güvenmiyorum ben ya.
I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British
The front door's now
imperialism.
open, sir.
I take your
You
point.
can leave through it. If you want, of course.
Buralara giremiyoruz değil mi? Ulan. Ha, çıkmışız. Gir içeri. Nasıl geldiğim yer mi? Dur bakalım. Tamam, bunu anladık. Bir tane daha kanıt lazım bize galiba. Yo. Heh. Sonuç. Bernadotte delegeye şantaj yapmak istiyor. Acımasız adalet. Delege berbat bir insan. Bernadotte bu korkunç durumdan faydalanmaya çalışıyor. İkisine de güvenemem. Gerçek ortaya çıkarsa tüm sorunlar çözülecektir. Fotoğrafı Vogel'a vermeliyim ki her şey ortaya çıksın. Saçsın. Bir de beklenmedik işbirliği var şantaj yapmak için. Onu biraz düşüneyim. Kararı verdim. Şimdi şöyle düşündüğümüz zaman burada kadını kurtaracağız ama bunlar bu işe devam edip başkalarını da iletebilir. O yüzden ben acımasız adaleti seçiyorum. Her şey ortaya saçılsın. Yani buradan lan dur çıkma Allah'ım niye? Ha, tamam. Pneumatik girmiş.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
Niye böyle gerilim?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt.
Ya tamam, ne için konuşuyorsun?
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
Vallahi alakamız
It
yok.
was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the source of Mercurio's artistic inspiration. A photograph. What troubled me was that the sexual act captured was non-consensual.
She was violated? Dear God, how despicable.
Her abuser was in fact the British envoy. Mercurio took a picture of him committing the atrocity and then used it as artistic inspiration.
Anlat, ne varsa
I
anlat.
had no idea a mere break-in would eventually expose such barbarity.
Olonda Bernadotti'de.
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Ha, onu alabiliyor muyduk ya?
That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then.
Mr. Vogel, I want you to make
Kendimiz alabilir miydik acaba?
public, including the photograph. I'm sure you have a connection at the Cordona Chronicle.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Loyal to your own truth till the end. Yes, I'm acquainted with the staff of the Chronicle. The story is sensational, and will surely draw attention to the gallery. But you must be aware that exposing the scandal will further hurt the victim. Does that not bother you?
No matter what one does, the truth tends to come out, as well it should.
Aynen öyle.
I won't be the one to stand in its way.
Though it's only your subjective truth being exposed. Not that I'm judging. It's perfectly reasonable for everyone to have their own views.
When you called me, you knew exactly what you would get.
Oh, but I'm not like you, Mr. Holmes. I cannot be sure of anything. Regardless, I must thank you, for art's sake. Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
Ne mi buldun ya?
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine.
Hadi gidelim.
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Tamam. Bu vakayı ne? Vakayı da tamamladık. Konuşmayı unuttum ya. Bir hediyeyi de göstereyim. Neymiş ya da ben de göreyim. Oh, şu hediyeye bakacağız şimdi. Ne göndermiş. Tam buna da gideceğiz. Hediye burada.
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
Ha, buradan açılıyormuş. Lan çekil. Bu ne lan, tövbe estağfurullah.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Fındık mı geliyor? Tövbeler tövbeler.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and
Tamam.
artifacts.
Yeni bölümde ne yapayım, nereden başlayacağımız belli oldu.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft.
Oh, Mycroft.
What are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Abi kardeş fena. Garip. Hediye ile beraber bir sonraki bölümde o sanat odasını keşfedeceğiz. Abi kardeş de fena bir konuşma geçti. Buradan çıkınca başka bir şey olmazsa şuradaki adama gidip onun görevini yapacağız. Şimdilik kendinize iyi bakın. Görüşmek üzere.